Hey, this is Amazon Jude. Heroes and zeros is the topic of this one. And we have a lot of wasted space in both the House and Congress. It's time to clean up the swamp where we Americans can vote these boys. Hey everybody, this is Amazon Jude coming to you from her war room in Casper, Wyoming. And I'm going to start something new today. I'm going to call it my Heroes and Zeros list. And this is going to be for probably both parties because we have the heroes and zeros on both sides of the aisle. Let's start off with my biggest pick today, and that is Louis Gohmert. What a wonderful, wonderful representative. He has fought on the front lines of everything from the beginning. And I hope you guys that have him as a rep, you run to the polls and you vote for that man because he is definitely worth a huge grain of salt for the taking back of America and making her great again. My second big shout out goes out to Jim Jordan for bringing us down a little bit on this ominous bill. It's got some nasty things in it, and it's, what, 2,300 pages? Rand Paul is working his ass off trying to read through it. And thank God he is, because he's finding things in there that, you know, shouldn't be in there. And so, you know, I have to give it to him on that one because he has taken the time to read that, and they're going to try to pass it tomorrow. I have a feeling it's going to be a big old clusterfuck like most what Mitch and Paul Ryan comes up with. They've given a lot of concessions to the Democrats in this one, and there wasn't very much for the good side except for the military, and I know that's good and that's great, but 1.3 or 6 million or billion for the wall is peanuts. And I don't know, you give a little bit with those Democrats and you never get it back. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Mick Mulvaney for explaining the reasoning behind Trump's support of this ominous bill, and they're very good. And you guys really need to watch it. I posted a video earlier tonight, and hopefully you guys can see it because he does a great job of explaining it. And so does the rep that goes to the legislators from the White House, pretty much instructing them what the president would like to see in these bills. Mark, I think, is his name. I still haven't learned his second name or his full name on it, but you can look it up. I'm sure it's pretty easy to find. I have to give a big shout out to him too. He stood by, you know, the fact that this 60 vote thing, you know, the Democrats changed it back in 2013. And if you really want to see what happened, look for a video by Langford on the Senate floor about 4 weeks ago. I've got it posted in one of my videos too, and I think it was the one I did yesterday. Today's date is 3/22, so it'd be 21 or 20 that I posted that video with Langford on the Senate floor explaining exactly what the Democrats did in 2013 when they changed the rules from 60 votes to 51, and that's how they got most of their stuff passed. Well, you know, we need to do the same thing, and I think maybe Mitch McConnell, let's give him a little rope and see if he hangs himself on this one. But I think he's waiting until after the midterms are pretty close to it, because a lot of seats are going to change hands, and hopefully at least 100 on each side of the rep houses lose their seats. They've been pretty much useless as far as voting anyway. There's 100 on the Republican side that are just absolutely atrocious. They get in there and they vote just like they're Democrats most of the time. And then you've got a total of, what, 435 reps, and then 100 senators. Or Congress guys, whatever. So the 435 in the House reps, we really, really need to take a vast majority of those seats because they're the ones that'll send stuff up to Congress to debate and change the bills on. So those seats are really important, and that's why the Democrats are fighting for them as hard as they are. And every time we lose a seat, they gain a seat, and it just makes bills die in the House rather than being able to get up to the Congress to be passed and signed by the president. So those are important seats. And also these seats on the committees. Now, Democrats are going after those seats like golden goose. And that's why you see a lot of the Republicans retiring, because they're losing their seats on these committees like Intel Committee and Finance Committee and Foreign Affairs Committee and blah, blah, blah. Those are coveted chairs. Don't let the Democrats tell you, oh, it's no big deal. That's where their prestige comes from, and that's where their money comes from, is those seats. When lobbyists are lobbying, they're not lobbying some rep. They're lobbying a congressman, and he's usually in charge of whatever committee that they're really wanting to change some laws in. So we need to make sure that we're voting in on these committees that really good, staunch, conservative Republicans. So remember that, folks. There's a method to the madness, and this all should have been taught to our kids in school, how government works. And I'm afraid that the kids today are just not getting taught the things that they need to know on how a government is run. Another really big guy today I thought did a great job, and that's Nunes. He did great. My big hero today was Mick Mulvaney. And I think Trump hiring 3 really good lawyers that know the D.C. swamp is an excellent idea. But I still suggest that there be perimeters if he ever sits down with Mueller. Mueller has been exposed as a deep state, along with McCabe and Comey and Brenner and Clapper and Loretta Lynch, and it all leads right back up to Obama's front door and Hillary's DNC. Remember when Donna Brazile said that Hillary took over the finances because the Democrat Party was broke? Well, she did, and she knew exactly where money was going, and you can bet that bitch, if she's, you know, on her income tax, taking off her dirty underwear that she donates to the Salvation Army, you know she knows where that money goes. and money laundering it through some cheap outfit, lawyer outfit that is also, by the way, Senator Warner's lawyer, and many, many other of those Democrats up there. That Cobb, I think, is part of their name. They have a lot of clients on the Democrat side. Remember that. Biden's a big zero today. Pansy boy. You know, if the man could ever learn to keep his hands off of babies and children and other men's wives, he might have some substantial, I don't know, being able to go up against Trump, but I don't think he'd get it. I mean, he might get the Democrat vote to go up against him, but he would never take the 2020 race because he's a fucking pedophile, and a known one at that. I mean, and he was Obama's butt boy. I mean, the man was just absolutely a disgrace in any role he's been in. He's got no real accomplishments other than being a kiss ass and Obama's buddy, and then he got all jealous when Obama started playing with other men. And it was always kind of a weird relationship to begin with. And then on top of that, being pretty much a, you know, if he touched my kids the way he's touched other people's kids, he'd have drawn back a bloody stump, put it that way. The man is a dirty old man. I'm glad that Trump hired Bolton today. He's tough on sanctions, and I think he'll add some much needed levity to Trump. And we have to talk about some of the good stuff today. We have a GDP growth of 3%. Granted, the budget is 1.3 million or 6 million trillion going into debt. But you know what everybody's failing to understand is that with the growth that we're having, that's going to offset it quite a bit. And it may take a year for it to happen, but it's already showing, you know, that the tax reform is helping small businesses. It's helping the corporate businesses. We got rid of Dodd-Frank. I mean, we've had some tremendous changes in our tax codes and stuff. And even my son and his wife are going to get back double their income tax from last year. I mean, do you know what that's going to do for them? They're going to pay off their credit cards or have a really nice Christmas. I mean, Trump did great in that area. I mean, there is just no changing it. The stock markets are kind of getting flippy and floppy because of this trade deficit and tariffs coming on. But you know what? It's not really tariffs. We're just leveling the playing field. I mean, they charge over 100% for a Harley Davidson to go into China, but we don't charge shit when they bring washers and dryers over here, or their cars. So Trump did a great thing with this, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. Fair trade is fair trade. Why should we continue to take the short sheets? And I support him 100% on that. You have to remember, in this ominous bill, Rand Paul found where we're giving money to Vietnam for their borders and other countries for their borders, but we're getting very little for our borders. And it's not enough. I mean, granted, it's probably good enough for 6 months because it'll take that long to spend that money to do that. And then we have the new bill for 2019 in October, and that's just before the elections. The DACA deal was not even put in the bill. And I didn't hear the Democrats complain about it at all. They want to use it to beat Trump and everybody else over the head with during their 2018 run for office. You got to remember right now, they're trying to infiltrate the election with former military guys. And that's what they're going to run on. They're going to say, oh, he's a vet, he loves the country, blah, 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 blah. And then once they get to Washington, they'll be in lockstep with Pelosi's bullshit, progressive movement, one-payer system on health care. And they want to raise your taxes back up to 39%. Who in their fucking right mind would run on that? But they're going to sure try. So they're going to use the vet's card and the woman card and the black card to infiltrate Congress and the House of Representatives. So be careful. Just because they were in the military doesn't mean shit. Look at that Duckworth. She's about a useless fucking bitch. And she was in the military, and she gets in the House of Representatives and stands on the floor and just runs the military down. You know, she should have never been in the military. Even her own soldiers that worked with her hated her fucking guts. They called her like a little fucking Hitler. And I don't think they would have saved her ass. And she had both her legs blown off. Big fucking deal. You know, but you don't get in there and you run your president down. You took an oath, bitch, to uphold the Constitution, and you failed miserably. So that's what their plan is to bring in these military guys. Excuse me. Cancer is a horrible disease, and it just takes over your body. And I'm trying to do my best to look as normal as I can to keep my videos going for everybody. But anyway, that's some of the heroes today. Some of the zeros was Biden, and of course Chris Wallace. What a disgusting piece of shit he is. And Juan Williams. Somebody needs to take a big old piece of tape and stick it across that black man's mouth, because everything that comes out of it is poison. And I guess that's it. 12 minutes ought to bring you up to speed. I say still, you know, we need to trust our president on his goals and agenda. Like we know, he always plays 3D chess. And to give a little bit to those Democrats while we're stuck with that 60 votes is fine. But I'll bet by the end of this we get what we want come October. Because things are moving. People are moving around, and countries, even China, even after we put that tariff on them, they want to come to the table and they want to make deals. And you know what? They're going to come to the table and they're going to make deals, and it's going to be better for our country and put things on an even keel. So with that, this is Amazon Jude coming to you from Casper in her war room, and let's make America great.
Hashtag my reason why.
And there you have it, folks, the heroes and the zeros, and we're going to rock and roll, and we're going to take over come election time. I want you guys to run for every office you can possibly find, and let's make America great once again.